Hello, and welcome to the Wine Educate podcast. This is episode 105, and I'm your host, Joanne Close. Today, we are doing a straight up level 2 lesson on Pinot Grigio / Pinot Gris. So, we're slowly going to cover the major grapes for level 2, but I'm kind of interweaving them into other topics where it makes sense. And as we are going to be tackling Alsace in the next couple of episodes, I thought it'd be important to cover this grape. This grape shows up in level 1, right? It's in level 1 and then features in level 2, and then, of course, obviously in level 3. But I'm going to try to keep the information at the level 2 level with also fleshing things out a little bit so we can get a greater understanding of this grape. For these grape series and some of the other level 2 lessons, I will have multiple choice questions for you in the show notes. And of course, if you are on our newsletter, you'll get them delivered that week anyway. If you want to sign up, go to wineeducate.com and it's the green newsletter sign up button. On my beginning slide, I've got Pinot Noir, Pinot Blanc, and Pinot Gris featured because I want to show just how really different they are. Even though Pinot Gris is considered a white grape, it does have a lot of color. It looks like something in between a white and black grape. Let's start back at the beginning and talk a little bit about the early history of the Pinot family. This grape family has been around for a very long time. It was first recorded in the 14th century in Burgundy. So Burgundy is the home, and that makes sense with Pinot Noir being from here. And then just north of Burgundy, we have Champagne, and we have more Pinot Noir, but we also have Pinot Meunier showing up there. It was linked to the monasteries, the monks, they were making wine. And this is both in France and in Germany, but has a long history here in this region. There's over 1,000 clones identified, different Pinot clones. That's the parent of many different grape varieties and one of the most important vine families. Okay, this is fun. Pinot means pine cone in French because of the shape of the grape bunches themselves kind of resembled pine cones and they look different. So Pinot Noir has more of this dark blue, purple hue to it. Pinot Blanc is more green and yellow, where Pinot Gris has gray and pink tones. Pinot Gris is grown in many different places. For the purposes of this lesson, we're going to focus on France and Italy. Gris is French for gray, and Grigio is Italian for gray. So we have Pinot Grigio, and that's what it's called in Italy. But here's another kind of fun one, because we have Pinot Gris shows up in Germany as well. And here it's called Grauburgunder, Grau meaning gray, but Burgunder referring to Burgundy because they knew that was where the grape originally came from. All right, climate and versatility. Pinot Gris is best in cool to moderate climates. It is highly adaptable. And this is interesting because the style of Pinot Gris depends a lot on the decisions that are made in the vineyard. Winemaking choices. Pinot Gris is an aromatic grape, so we are fermenting it in inert vessels. We do not want oxygen to come into play here. We want to keep those pretty aromatics and preserve the fruit. So it is rarely put in oak. Is there an exception to every rule? There is. But for the majority of these wines, they are made in inert vessels and not in contact with oak. We have two core styles here. We have the light, fresh, simple style, and then we have this rich, full-bodied, complex style. These two styles are really mainly driven by yield and ripeness level. So let's break this down. Let's start with Italy, here where the grape is Pinot Grigio, and we're looking at the Veneto. So if you look at Italy as the boot, we're in the northeastern part of Italy. Veneto, right, sounds like Venice. Venice is nearby. Lots of wine made here, used for large production. So what happens here? We're not interested in nice hillside slopes. A lot of these grapes are going to be planted on the plains, so it's easy to get the machines in to pick, easy mechanization. But this soil then is going to be nutrient rich. It's going to get lots of rainfall, and we're going to find high yields, meaning lots of grapes on the vine. It can get to about 200 hectoliters per hectare. That is a lot. And when we talk about more premium winemaking regions, they often limit it to about a quarter of that, so about 45 to 50 hectoliters per hectare. And some of the really better sites, we're looking at quite low, like 20. So 200 hectoliters per hectare, that's a lot of grapes. So when you have a lot of grapes from a vine, you are diluting that concentration. And the resulting wine is going to have lighter body. They are also harvesting these grapes earlier because they do want to retain that high acidity. So the resulting style, light in body, high in acidity. And this is the large scale production. This is, your porch pounder Pinot Grigio that you find in the grocery store. So why so much Pinot Grigio these days? Well, this all goes back to fashion, right? We'll talk often about what Paris wants, and then people change the wines they make based on that. This had an influence in people moving away from the more oaky style of wine and wanting this light, crisp, unoaked wine. I have to say, like 15, 20 years ago, when people go to a bar and they want that style, they would ask for a Pinot Grigio, not specifically needing that actual grape, but wanting something that didn't have oak, that had a lot of freshness, a lot of acidity. Tremendous growth of the plantings in Pinot Grigio because of this switch in fashion. So in 1990, in Italy, there were about 3,500 hectares planted. And then in 2015, there was 18,821. Over the course of 25 years, over a 400% increase in plantings. And this was all driven by this global demand for light, easy drinking wine. Whereas most of this high volume, inexpensive Italian Pinot Grigio coming from this northeastern part of the country, your book specifically mentions two regions to know: della Venezia DOC and Veneto IGT. The style of this wine is light-bodied, aromas and flavors of apple and lemon, short, neutral finish, and if you do it on blick, it ends up being acceptable or good. So, Italian Pinot Grigio, it's like when you go to an art opening, what are they serving? Yeah, something like Italian Pinot Grigio, right? But that's not the whole story. And it is a bit of a shame that it's gotten this reputation for being inexpensive, light. I think Jansa said inoffensive mouthwash or something. Gosh, she comes up with some real zingers. There are some wines here in this region from Italy that are made from Pinot Grigio and are outstandingly delicious. What region am I talking about? Friuli, Venezia, Giulia. The yields are lower here. The wines are more concentrated, so you get more complexity and fuller bodied. I would highly recommend for you, if you have not tried an Italian Pinot Grigio that is more complex, to go and find one because they are really delicious. Okay, so France. France is where Pinot Gris originated, and where most of the Pinot Gris is planted is in Alsace. Very different style of Pinot Gris made here. Completely different. It can be dry and also have some medium sweetness. So we have some sweetness levels here. The acidity tends to drop a little bit because the fruit is getting really ripe. So more of a medium acidity. We're leaving behind our lemon and our green apple. And now we're entering peach, mango, these tropical fruits, this kind of spice or ginger. And these wines have a ability to age. Really lovely styles of wines. If you didn't know by now, I'm a huge fan of the wines from Alsace. And that is why we're going to cover the history of Alsace and Alsace for Level 2 in the next couple of episodes. But now you've learned all about Pinot Gris. Takeaways from today's lesson. The same grape can have two very different styles. In Italy, overall, it's going to be more light, fresh Pinot Grigio with that apple and lemon. And then in France, you get this rich, complex style of Pinot Gris with fuller body and ability to age. This style is largely dictated by what they're doing in the vineyard, okay? The ripeness levels and the yield make a huge difference in the overall style. All right, friend, there you have it. That is Pinot Gris. And next week we are doing Alsace. Very exciting. Sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already. Hope you have a lovely week, and I will talk to you next time.